From the moment you wake up, your attitude sets the tone for every experience you will encounter. Jeff Keller's attitude is everything begins with a deceptively simple yet profound truth. Life does not happen to you. It happens through you. The events themselves are neutral. It is your perception, your inner lens, that colors them with possibility or limitation. This is not mere optimism. It is a principle observed in psychology, business, sports, and human behavior worldwide. Keller recounts the turning point in his own life. Trapped in the predictable path of a law career, he felt stuck, constrained, and frustrated. It was not the law profession itself that failed him. It was his mindset. Once he chose to see opportunity in discomfort, a career in motivational speaking opened, illustrating that internal shifts precede external breakthroughs. This aligns with modern neuroscience. The brain rewires itself through repeated thought patterns, forming neural pathways that reinforce belief and behavior. For instance, a person who believes they are capable and resilient subconsciously searches for evidence that confirms that belief, while someone who sees themselves as incapable will notice obstacles more keenly. Attitude literally programs your perception of reality. Take Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as a contemporary example. Before becoming an international superstar, he faced rejection and financial hardship. Cut from professional football and nearly bankrupt, Johnson could have seen the world as a series of dead ends. Instead, he chose an attitude of unwavering persistence and optimism, and today, his daily energy, discipline, and resilience have made him a cultural icon. His story mirrors Keller's principle. Setbacks become stepping stones when filtered through the lens of attitude. This principle holds true globally. In Kenya, long-distance runner Eliud Kipchoge broke the 2-hour marathon barrier, something many experts deemed impossible. While his physical conditioning was extraordinary, his mental framing, the belief that humans could achieve the feat, was equally critical. His focus, preparation, and visualization reflect Keller's insistence that attitude drives effort and determines outcomes. Keller emphasizes that attitude is not simply thinking positive. It is intentional mental conditioning, where awareness, repetition, and conscious choice reshape habitual responses. Complaints, doubt, and pessimism are seeds. If left unchecked, they grow into narratives of limitation. But deliberate optimism nurtures opportunity, productivity, and innovation. This is why Keller urges readers to guard their internal dialogue like treasure. What you say to yourself becomes what you do. Reactions, Keller notes, are even more powerful than thoughts alone. Life is inherently unpredictable. We cannot control events, only our response to them. This is a foundational element of resilience. Consider J.K. Rowling, rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter was accepted, or Colonel Sanders, turned down over 1,000 times before his fried chicken recipe found success. Their attitude transformed rejection from obstacle into motivation. It was not circumstance that determined their outcomes, but the unwavering belief that perseverance would ultimately yield results. In the modern world, Keller's lessons resonate with the COVID-19 pandemic. Millions face job loss, uncertainty, and social disruption. Some succumbed to fear, remaining immobilized by circumstance. Others pivoted, learning digital skills, launching online businesses, or deepening relationships. The events were identical, but attitude dictated whether opportunity or despair prevailed. Keller also introduces the power of visualization and self-talk as a core tool for shaping attitude. Every skyscraper, invention, or creative endeavor began first in thought. Visualization programs the brain's reticular activating system, RAS, which filters and prioritizes information. Athletes, executives, and creators worldwide use this method. Michael Phelps visualized each swim in minute detail, from dive to final stroke. Elon Musk visualizes product solutions and future technologies before they exist, aligning mental preparation with practical execution. Visualization strengthens belief, which in turn fuels persistent action. Yet, attitude is meaningless without action. Optimism alone achieves nothing if not paired with effort. Keller stresses that a positive mindset is expressed in consistent, purposeful behavior, especially when motivation is low. Effort transforms thoughts into reality. Take Tyler Perry, now a billion-dollar filmmaker, who spent years sleeping in his car while writing plays no one attended. daily action, guided by vision and attitude, compounded over time to monumental results. Global examples reinforce this principle. Narendra Modi, India's Prime Minister, rose from humble beginnings as a tea seller to national leadership through persistence, strategic action, and belief in possibility. Aliko Dangote, Nigeria's industrialist, grew his business from a small trading company into a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate by consistently pairing effort with the belief in potential growth. Their environments differed, but attitude shaped opportunity and outcome. Keller next explores the principle of energy and influence. Attitude is contagious. Optimism and enthusiasm attract opportunity, collaboration, and trust. Negativity repels it. Leaders in business and life know this instinctively. Teams with leaders who radiate positivity innovate more freely and solve problems more creatively. In the U.S., companies like Google emphasize culture, the attitude of collaboration and possibility, to fuel innovation. Globally, cultural norms emphasizing optimism and resilience yield similar results. Positive energy is both magnetic and strategic. Gratitude, Keller asserts, is an attitude multiplier. Shifting focus from scarcity to abundance rewires perception and amplifies satisfaction. Modern research from Harvard and UC Davis confirms that gratitude journals correlate with increased happiness, productivity, and health. Leaders who maintain gratitude, even amid challenges, inspire loyalty and creativity. Mackenzie Scott, for example, has leveraged personal success to create global social impact through philanthropy, showing how gratitude manifests in action that benefits others. From gratitude naturally flows service. Keller emphasizes that personal success is deepened by contributing to others. Encouraging and uplifting others aligns with the principle of abundance. Helping others succeed reinforces belief in your own potential and sustains momentum. This mirrors global philanthropic efforts, from Melinda French Gates to socially driven business models in emerging economies, where impact multiplies through empowerment. Keller's final key insight in this first phase is daily discipline of attitude. Success is not a single epiphany, but a series of choices repeated consistently. Every morning presents a choice. Perceive challenges as obstacles or as opportunities. The small decisions, reframing setbacks, expressing gratitude, showing encouragement, compound invisibly over time. This is attitude as a practice, not an abstract idea. Consider Nelson Mandela, whose attitude of forgiveness and perspective reshaped a nation, or Malala Yousafzai, who transformed personal trauma into advocacy. Both demonstrate Keller's central thesis. Attitude dictates outcome, and inner choice, sustained over time, becomes visible transformation. Once the foundation of attitude is understood, the challenge becomes application. Keller repeatedly emphasizes, your thoughts shape your reality, but your actions shape your life. Knowledge alone achieves nothing. Habitual, purposeful behavior is the bridge between mindset and outcome. It begins with recognizing the patterns that shape your life. Attitude is not a switch flipped once. It's a series of micro-decisions repeated daily. Every morning, every interaction, every response builds momentum, either toward success or stagnation. Keller calls this the law of consistency. Small, disciplined actions compound invisibly, much like interest in a bank account. The parallel is simple. Just as money grows exponentially over time, success multiplies when small positive behaviors accumulate. Take Stephen King as an example. The celebrated author writes every day, regardless of inspiration. His daily habit of writing a set number of pages ensured that over decades, he produced an immense body of work. Inspiration alone did not create Carrie or The Shining. Discipline and repetition did. This demonstrates Keller's insistence that attitude alone is insufficient. It must manifest in persistent action. Globally, this principle echoes in the lives of athletes. Cristiano Ronaldo, widely regarded as one of the greatest footballers of all time, attributes his success to relentless routines. He tracks his diet, practices extra drills, and studies performance analytics daily. His attitude, disciplined by ritual and repetition, converts potential into performance. Keller would describe this as habit-driven excellence. But what about moments when motivation fades? Keller teaches that attitude becomes most critical in adversity. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks are inevitable. The difference between those who advance and those who stagnate is not talent but response. This is the essence of resilience, choosing perspective over despair. During the 2008 financial crisis, countless entrepreneurs lost businesses overnight. Yet individuals like Howard Schultz of Starbucks leveraged adversity to innovate and strengthen their companies. Schultz could have succumbed to fear, but his attitude toward the challenge, seeing opportunity in crisis, allowed him to expand Starbucks' global footprint when others contracted. This is Keller's lesson. Attitude shapes how setbacks are interpreted and whether they become catalysts or roadblocks. Central to Keller's methodology is daily mental rehearsal and visualization. He insists that imagining success, rehearsing scenarios, and affirming one's capabilities builds a mental framework that guides action. This aligns with contemporary psychological research. Athletes, public speakers, and executives increasingly use visualization techniques to reinforce confidence and skill. Serena Williams, before every match, visualizes her movements, timing, and strategy. The repetition in her mind primes her body for peak performance. Another practical tool Keller emphasizes is positive self-talk. Words shape perception. He encourages replacing statements of limitation, "I can't do this," with affirmations of possibility. "I will find a way to succeed." Over time, this trains the subconscious to identify opportunities rather than obstacles. Consider Malala Yousafzai, who faced life-threatening adversity but reinforced her inner dialogue with courage and purpose. Her attitude of resilience, repeated daily through thought and action, enabled her to advocate for global education despite personal danger. Keller's framework is clear. Internal language dictates external performance. In addition to mental rehearsal, Keller focuses on environmental alignment. Your surroundings influence your attitude more than most realize. Positive environments, supportive colleagues, mentors, inspiring media, act as fuel. Negative surroundings, criticism, toxic influence, limiting beliefs, drain energy. The principle is universal. People reflect their environments. This is evident in global business hubs. Silicon Valley, for example, thrives on collaborative, high-energy ecosystems where optimism, creativity, and risk-taking are normalized. Startups fail in isolation but flourish when attitudes are reinforced by vibrant, success-oriented networks. Similarly, sports academies and creative incubators worldwide cultivate excellence by fostering environments that reflect the attitudes they wish to develop. Yet, even with awareness and supportive surroundings, self-discipline remains essential. Keller repeatedly underscores that attitude without effort is aspirational at best. He highlights the necessity of creating daily routines that reinforce positive thinking and productivity. This includes scheduling time for reflection, goal setting, gratitude, and purposeful action. For example, Oprah Winfrey has consistently used daily reflection and journaling as tools to align her actions with her values and intentions. Similarly, globally recognized innovators, from Jack Ma to Ratan Tata, have routines that reinforce focus, perseverance, and a growth-oriented mindset. These habits transform abstract attitude into tangible results. Keller also addresses the inevitability of failure. He reframes failure not as a verdict, but as feedback. Each misstep carries lessons that shape the next decision. Entrepreneurs worldwide internalize this principle. Failure is data, not judgment. Jeff Bezos, for instance, invested in Amazon with repeated setbacks. Products failed, campaigns flopped, but each instance informed improved strategies. Keller's message is that attitude determines whether failure becomes a learning tool or a destructive force. Persistence, Keller teaches, is often more powerful than raw talent. The 10,000-hour rule exemplifies this. Mastery comes from repeated, deliberate practice. Whether learning a skill, building a business, or cultivating relationships, the accumulation of consistent effort outweighs isolated brilliance. This aligns with Keller's broader lesson. Attitude drives the willingness to persist. He also emphasizes accountability. Surrounding oneself with mentors, coaches, or peers who reflect desired attitudes accelerates progress. Public commitment and support systems reinforce discipline and optimism. In professional settings, Mentorship programs have been shown to increase career advancement because they instill belief and model success. Globally, apprentice models, from traditional artisan guilds in Europe to modern corporate mentorship in Asia, demonstrate that consistent guidance fosters both skill and mindset. Another aspect Keller highlights is gratitude and service, which amplify attitude exponentially. Expressing appreciation, acknowledging support, and helping others succeed creates an abundance mindset. Psychologically, gratitude shifts focus from scarcity to possibility, which strengthens resilience and encourages proactive behavior. Modern studies in positive psychology confirm this. Gratitude improves cognitive function, emotional stability, and interpersonal relationships. Globally, leaders like Mackenzie Scott and philanthropists across continents embody this principle, leveraging resources and influence to multiply impact through service. Keller also provides actionable steps to reset attitude during crises. Pause and assess objectively. Avoid reactive emotional responses. Identify lessons and potential opportunities within challenges. Affirm capabilities and recall past successes to reinforce confidence. 4. Take the smallest actionable step toward improvement. Momentum begins with microaction. These steps are applied across contexts worldwide. In post-disaster recovery, communities that approach rebuilding with collaborative, solution-oriented attitudes recover faster. Business leaders who adopt structured problem-solving during market disruption outperform peers who react with fear or passivity. Finally, Keller underscores that long-term success is a byproduct of consistent attitude-driven behavior. Daily decisions, small wins, persistent effort, and disciplined optimism accumulate over time into measurable results. He reiterates, greatness is rarely the result of isolated genius. It is the invisible accumulation of attitude and effort applied consistently. Consider Christina Yang, a hypothetical example of a global professional. She begins each day affirming her goals, visualizing desired outcomes, executing small prioritized tasks, and reflecting on progress. After years, these seemingly insignificant routines compound, producing influence, success, and personal fulfillment. Across industries and cultures, these principles hold true. Attitude compounded over time drives transformation. As the principles of attitude, action, and habit take root, Keller turns to the natural extension, how your mindset shapes leadership, relationships, and influence. Attitude is not an isolated force. It radiates outward, creating ripples in every environment you touch. This is where the true power of Keller's philosophy manifests, not just in personal success, but in how individuals impact teams, communities, and even nations. Leadership, Keller insists, begins with self-mastery. You cannot inspire or guide others if your own mindset is reactive, negative, or inconsistent. Great leaders, across history and cultures, share one trait. They view obstacles as opportunities and consistently model the behaviors they wish to see. Take Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, who transformed the company by emphasizing growth mindset, empathy, and curiosity. Nadella's attitude shifted Microsoft from stagnation to innovation, demonstrating Keller's axiom. The leader's mindset dictates the organizational climate. Similarly, Jacinda Ardern, former Prime Minister of New Zealand, faced crises, from natural disasters to public security threats, with calm, empathy, and clarity. Her attitude, visible in communication and decision-making, fostered collective trust and resilience. Keller's lesson here is clear. Your mental framing, optimism, and proactive mindset influence not only personal outcomes, but those around you. Attitude is contagious. Leaders set the emotional and motivational tone. This principle extends beyond formal leadership. In workplaces, social groups, and even families, attitude determines whether collaboration flourishes or stagnates. A manager with a positive, solution-oriented approach cultivates innovation, while a leader consumed by complaint and negativity creates fear, hesitation, and disengagement. Keller repeatedly reinforces, you cannot control external circumstances, but you can control your influence through attitude. One practical application is active encouragement. Keller encourages readers to identify and amplify the strengths of others. Simple acts of recognition, a kind word, a constructive critique, or public acknowledgement, not only improve morale, but also reflect and reinforce your own positive mindset. Globally, corporate cultures that embed peer recognition consistently outperform those that rely solely on top-down direction. American companies like Salesforce and Japanese firms like Toyota exemplify this principle, integrating appreciation into daily operations to drive productivity and loyalty. Relationships, Keller notes, are another arena where attitude exerts power. Personal and professional bonds thrive when one approaches others with optimism, empathy, and curiosity. Attitude shapes the energy you bring into interactions. Complaints, judgment, and pessimism erode trust. Encouragement, patience, and solution-oriented thinking build it. In his book, Keller illustrates this with real-life anecdotes. Someone who consistently approaches conflict with a mindset of understanding resolves disagreements more effectively than those who respond with defensiveness or blame. Consider Barack Obama, whose presidential leadership often relied on listening, measured response, and the assumption that constructive dialogue could yield solutions. His approach was not merely intellectual, it was a demonstration of disciplined attitude. Globally, figures like Angela Merkel or Malala Yousafzai apply similar principles, showing how mindset influences both personal influence and societal outcomes. Keller also stresses that adversity amplifies the importance of attitude. Life will always introduce challenges, health setbacks, financial strain, interpersonal conflicts. The difference between flourishing and floundering is how one frames these events. Take Howard Schultz again, who during the 2008 financial crisis viewed challenges as a blueprint for innovation rather than a threat. Similarly, Jack Ma faced early rejections and societal skepticism but leveraged his attitude to persist, eventually creating Alibaba, one of the world's largest e-commerce platforms. At a personal level, attitude shapes health, wealth, and fulfillment. Studies show that optimism correlates with improved immune function, cardiovascular health, and longevity. Financially, entrepreneurs who maintain a positive outlook are more likely to pursue calculated risks, seek opportunities, and recover from setbacks. In a modern American context, Sarah Blakely, founder of Spanx, exemplifies this. Her optimism, persistence, and creative problem-solving transformed a $5,000 investment into a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. Globally, the principle holds. Eliud Kipchoge's marathon success, Narendra Modi's political ascent, and Aliko Dangote's industrial growth all illustrate that persistent, positive attitude, applied over years, is the common denominator behind achievement. Keller emphasizes that while skill, knowledge, and opportunity are essential, attitude is the multiplier that determines whether these resources manifest into tangible outcomes. Keller introduces the concept of attitude as a compounding force. Just as small actions accumulate into wealth, habits and mindset compound to shape destiny. Each positive decision, affirmation, or microaction reinforces belief, skill, and confidence. Conversely, negative patterns compound into limitation, doubt, and stagnation. The principle is universal. Growth is the product of consistency in mindset and action over time. Practical tools Keller provides include 1. Daily reflection. Evaluate responses, mindset, and progress. Self-awareness strengthens control over attitude. 2. Intentional environment design. Surround yourself with people, media, and conditions that reinforce desired mindset. 3. Affirmation and visualization. Rehearse success, focus on strengths, and imagine overcoming obstacles. 4. Service and encouragement. Positive engagement with others amplifies personal growth and builds influence. 5. Persistence in action. Small, repeated actions, even during adversity, produce measurable results over time. These tools manifest in everyday life. A teacher who approaches students with belief in their potential transforms classroom performance. A manager who encourages incremental innovation drives long-term business growth. An athlete who visualizes training goals and persists despite setbacks achieves peak performance. Across cultures and industries, the same principles apply. Attitude compels action, and action compounds into achievement. Keller's final lesson is ownership of life through attitude. You cannot control external events, but you can control how you meet them. By choosing perspective, cultivating optimism, taking consistent action, and influencing others positively, you create a life aligned with purpose and potential. Attitude is both the engine and compass. It drives motion and directs trajectory. This lesson resonates globally. During the COVID-19 pandemic, educators who embraced adaptive learning, entrepreneurs who pivoted to digital models, and communities who collaborated to maintain health protocols exemplified Keller's principle. Circumstances do not dictate outcomes, attitude does. Those who flourished combined optimism, planning, persistence, and influence. Those who stagnated often lacked one or more of these elements. Keller closes with a call to daily practice. Attitude is not static. It must be nurtured and reinforced. Morning rituals, affirmations, gratitude exercises, reflection, and deliberate engagement with challenges are not optional. They are foundational. The compound effect of these actions, practiced consistently, determines the quality of life, relationships, career, and legacy. In essence, attitude is everything is not about ignoring reality or masking problems with false positivity. It is about actively shaping perception, aligning mindset with purposeful action, and leveraging both to influence outcomes for oneself and others. It is a roadmap from thought to habit to achievement, from challenge to opportunity, from potential to excellence. When viewed through Keller's lens, every setback becomes a lesson, every interaction an opportunity, and every choice a brick in the architecture of life. Across continents, industries, and individual journeys, the principle remains the same. Those who master attitude master outcomes. If this message resonated with you, subscribe and join us for more wisdom that fuels growth.